Okay, so today we're going to look at an early model Huffy made bicycle. So this bike was made by Huffy, 1964. It's an H4 serial number. And then like a lot of Huffy's made, it was badged by a hardware store. So this bike is badged for Belknap Hardware in Louisville, Kentucky. And this was their Bluegrass line, which Belknap would have been similar to Sears hardware, and kind of like Sears had their Ted Williams line. This would have been, along those same lines. It was their Bluegrass line, which Belknap had bluegrass hammers, bluegrass. They had a lot of different products that they called Bluegrass. It's kind of like their premium line that they sold and carried. So this bicycle was called a Belknap Bluegrass, and then they put the name T-Bird on it. The bike was made by Huffy, which so in '63. Huffy was the first one to produce these muscle bikes. They beat Schwinn by a couple of months getting a mass production on them. They called them a high riser, and they were commissioned by a bike shop out of California to make a couple of hundred of them. So Huffy made a couple of hundred of these high riser bikes, painted them black, and they called them a Penguin, even though they didn't have any decals on there that said Penguin. They were a Huffy Penguin bike painted black in '63, and then right after they sent those bikes out to California, they turned around and made their own bike, put their own name on it, and they called it a dragster, and that was for '64. So this bike is the same as the dragster bike that Huffy made, just they put the Belknap badge on it. So this bike can have a lot of really early features. This is the start of the whole industry here, and I kind of compare this bike with its components to the '63 and '64 Stingray. Now, some of those similarities is, this back wheel. This is a Bendix back wheel on this Huffy. It has the 36 spokes. Anybody who's restored a '63 or '64 Schwinn knows how hard those 36 spoke back wheels are to find. So this 64 here came with the 36 spoke back wheel Bendix. This front wheel was a Mark 80 USA hub on the front wheel. The back tire is a Carlisle USA slick, and the front tire is made by Carlisle, but they put the Belknap name on it. So these are some real good USA vintage tires on this bike. Now this bike probably would have had, I'm pretty sure it had a Solo Polo style seat, kind of like you see on the '63 and '64 Stingray. So this is a nice replacement seat. It's got the axle mount, like they had on those early style Stingrays and muscle bikes. It's got a front brake on it. All that's working. And then the back brake on this is a coaster brake. This is the Bendix USA coaster brake model. So everything's working really well on the bike. It's a nice solid bike. Of course, it's got these really wide, 8-hanger bars like you saw on the early models of these high riser muscle bikes. We're going to take it down. I'm going to show you a couple of better pictures. Once we get it down, we'll take a closer look at that head badge where it says Belknap. It's the same style head badge that Huffy was using, it just got Belknap on it. And then of course Huffy always had their decal here on the down tube, but this one has the Belknap on there. So basically Huffy just made the bike, but where they would put Huffy at, they put Belknap. They did that for a lot of different department stores, hardware stores. It's kind of where they made their name, is making bikes for other people. So we'll take it down, we'll take it for a little ride, and a closer look at a couple of those nice details. Alright, so we got it out in the sun. You can see that original paint looks really nice. It's got its typical scratches and scrapes on it, but I mean for an overall '64 paint job, copper tone, looks great. Chrome looks really good on these. It's got those heavy duty razor edge fenders. They're rust free top and bottom. The chrome, you do have a little bit of chrome loss here and there, but nothing too bad. And you can see that decal, you know, this is where you typically would have seen the Huffy decal, and you know, this is Belknap. They put the Belknap decal on there for them, and the same with the head badge. You know, that's the exact same model of the Huffy head badge, except for this one says Belknap. You know, so this is a nice little piece of history. You know, it's the start of the whole industry. It's got those, you know, real easy to spot features on the bike with the wide handlebars and the 36 spoke wheel. I'm gonna take it for a short little ride, show how this thing works, and that's gonna be it. All right, thank you for watching.